I am called Thomas Msusa, Archbishop of the Catholic Archdiocese of Blantyre in the country Malawi. In Malawi, I work for interreligious dialogue, and also in Malawi, we have a committee of the faith leaders in the country, and in that committee, I also work with the mediation team, which means I'm the president or chairman of the mediation team, where we work for dialogue when problems arise. Therefore, in Malawi, I work with different people, political leaders, traditional leaders, and other leaders in different institutions. Today, I am here in Kenya attending a very important conference of faith leaders, and here we have come from different countries in Africa. We are very happy. I am very happy as one of the participants, because the issues we are discussing here concern the life of the people in Africa. Listening to the word from the vice chairman of AMESEA, we have really important issues to discuss, especially some difficulties, some problems facing the country, the continent of Africa. We have come to discuss issues concerning the whole continent, different countries facing major crises, which if we as faith leaders do not come together, our continent, our countries will really collapse. The issues we are discussing here is the issues which concern the life of the poor people in Africa. We see that the continent of Africa, though we have so many gifts coming from God, but we have abused these gifts. We have resources given by God, but somehow we don't use them properly. For example, we know in Africa we have resources like lakes, minerals, and whatsoever. But presently, contemporary situation, we see that Africa is still in crisis. One of the crises is we see the pandemic of COVID, where almost every country in Africa was really affected. All the people in Africa were affected of COVID-19. Not only that, we see also what the Holy Father, Pope Francis, when he wrote a letter in 2015, Laudato Si, the problem of our Mother Earth, the issue concerning the environment. African continent is concerned because it is in crisis, because we don't make use of the environment properly as when God created it. So this is a critical moment for us in Africa, every country in Africa, the issue of degradation of the environment. Another very critical crisis we see in Africa is the issue of the management of finances. We see Africa, almost every country in Africa is involved in debt. Leaders, political leaders in Africa are unable to manage their financial stand in every country. And as a result, because they want really to manage to take care of the people in every country, they have to borrow money from other countries, from International Monetary Fund, from World Bank. Therefore, as I'm talking now, we see that every country is full of debt, which every country is unable to give back. Yes, we have taxes we get from the citizens, and we get that in order to give back to the people the social welfare of the people. But the leaders are unable to give back to the society what is needed because of the debts they have. They collect money from the people, from the citizens, but 80% of that goes to refund the debts. Therefore, this critical moment is very serious for us as faith leaders, as I am. Another important thing in the financial stand of every country, we see the issue of corruption. Yes, we borrow money from other organizations, but how is this money used? Normally, we see the money goes to different individuals, not on the social welfare of the citizens. So faith leaders are very much concerned with these crises, and diseases are there. We are unable to contain the issue of diseases in our countries and Africa. Recently, like in Malawi, we had another problem, Cyclone Freddy, where so many people died, villages wiped away, washed away by water, and food and crops and also animals were really washed out. What do we do? How do we respond to these problems? So all these crises in Africa do not affect only the political leaders. The most majority of the people in Africa, the poor people, are those who are really been affected by these contemporary crisis. So we have come to discuss these issues. The good thing is that we have come together from many different faith community leadership. The Muslims, the Christians, the Hindus, traditional leaders in the faith, all have come together. That is interfaith religious dialogue. We want to make sure that this crisis should reach out every part of Africa in very different to different faith communities. What we want to do in this crisis we have seen, especially the financial stand of African continent, is very much we are very much concerned with this. What we want to do is that the religious leaders coming together in unity, having one voice, is really to talk about this, to challenge our political leaders that yes, they are good people who lend us money. How do we use the money? Is it for the social welfare of the people? Is this money, are these funds used for a just cause? One part. Second part, we would like to say to the international debtors, those who give money, we want to tell them that no, we see that it is impossible to give back the loans if we continue this way. Isn't it possible, once again, to cancel the debt so that we start again while we put up good policies in Africa? So, as faith leaders, we would like to be the voice of those people who are suffering in Africa. Therefore, as faith leaders from coming to different countries, we want to become a voice of the voiceless. Why are we doing this? Yes, there is corruption, mismanagement of funds in our countries. Should we today remain silent? If we remain silent, it means the majority of people in Africa will suffer, will die. At the same time, we are not condoning corruption. We are not promoting the misuse of money. We want the African people to be accountable, to be just. That's what we want. That's what we're calling the leaders of faith. We want the leaders to see the African leaders change their mind. We want them to walk the talk. Justice, service delivery, so that things should really change in Africa. But not only the leadership in the political arena, but also even within the faith communities. Members should change. We should change our mentality, because corruption, the misuse of resources, is not only in political and government, But even our churches, we also misuse funds. We are not just. We are not honest. Now we have come to challenge ourselves also as faith leaders, that what we do, what we talk, should be seen as we exercise our powers. Why do we want to have a common voice? Because we know that faith leaders have the authority. When we speak, people listen. When we talk, really people pay attention to what we say. And surely, if we talk together in the different departments, different faith communities, and they listen to our voice, surely the continent of Africa will change. We would like to invite the people, especially the Europeans, the Americans, the Russians, wherever, to help us to put into practice what we say, especially the issue of debt cancellation. We are saying this, not that we are happy with the leadership, but we want really to see people prospering, having life in abundance, as Jesus said. That's what we want. You know, Jesus said, I have come to give you life in abundance. But so far in Africa, everywhere, people are suffering. What Jesus talked about is not yet fulfilled, but it's because of us. People, the leadership in faith communities, we are not very prophetic. At the same time, we would like to continue to work, to partner together with the politicians, because these are the people we are preaching to. These are the people who belong to our churches, to our mosques. These are the many people who are there. So we would like to partner with them and work together to see that there is an accountability in whatever they say. To see that they are very just. To see that they have the heart of the people. Not for themselves, they work for the people. They have to serve the people. They have to be leaders for others. Like what Jesus told us. When he came, when people followed him, at one point, the apostles said, look at these people. There are so many. We have been with them for 3-5 days. Tell them to go away to have food somewhere. Jesus said, no, don't send them away. Give them some food yourselves. That's what we want to tell the politicians. We together have to give food, medicine, education to our people. Therefore, we have come together, first, as I said, to identify the majority. There's so many problems we have. We have identified them, and as together we say, together we can really become strong. We know that the churches, the mosques, the leaders not speak individually, but we have come together to make our voice very strong. And at the moment, we also want to bring awareness to our local community in Malawi, in Nigeria, in Kenya, everywhere, to make the people be aware of the problems we have. Yes, what can we do? There are so many resolutions. They say, because the money, the finances are abused, should we continue to lobby for debt cancellation? Even if we do that, you see, these people will continue to abuse, to be corrupt. But as faith leaders, we have hope that one day our continent will be prosperous. One day the people of Africa will enjoy life to the full. So we have hope. There is hope because we are with God. That is the very important thing we are sharing, that God is with us. Let us continue to advocate for social justice. That's why we have come together to speak in one voice for debt cancellation, but also to make our leaders aware of the problems we have in Africa. We would like, as we go back, to our different countries. We would like really to involve, there's so many people, different sectors, stakeholders, to say, no, there is a problem here. So as faith leaders, we are concerned with the many poor people, the youth, the women, the old people. They are suffering in many different ways. We would like to involve them and to know these problems. Together with the local people, we become a voice to ask, especially those who are giving us loans, to say, please, it is difficult for us to give you back the loans, as well as to bring social services to our people. When we get the money from the people, the money is enough to bring services, but to give back the loan is very difficult. Isn't there a way to cancel the debt and begin again? That's why we are here. We want to lobby the United Nations. We want to lobby the African Union and also other organizations to say Africa is really in difficulties. Enough is enough. Let us listen to the voice of the voiceless and forgive them. As I said, as we are doing this, not because we are happy with the situation, but we are saying people are dying. If we continue to punish these politicians, not giving them money, then there will not be any population in the countries. So Africa will suffer, continues to suffer. That's what we are saying. Today I'm very happy to be with you as you are listening to me, because I'm one of the members of the participants of this meeting. How can Africa become better in the crisis it faces now? Very happy indeed. And I would like now to thank those who have organized this very important meeting. First of all, Caritas Africa has been involved in sourcing all the funds to help us. And then JENA, an organization which has really helped us to come here. It's very expensive nowadays to be here with comfortable accommodation. Very difficult, but JENA and Caritas Africa, together with Jubilee Network, these organizations have helped us to come here. I'm very grateful to them, and I would like really to say thanks to them, and then may God bless them as they continue to bring the faith leaders from Africa together in the near future, that we continue to lobby for debt cancellation and also to help in uplifting the lives of the poor people in every country in Africa. Thank you very much for listening to me.